Thank you, Yenny and Alianza, for inviting Tommy and I to present a little bit about what we do at the city and also get into LLCs and business ownership in the state of Colorado. My name is Edgar Ramos.
My name is Tomas Meritt.
And we're both bilingual business specialists for the City of Fort Collins Economic Health Office. And our work is focused around the Multicultural Business and Entrepreneur Center. Perfect. A little bit about what we do. Essentially, the center is focused on providing entrepreneurs, new businesses, or existing businesses with vital bilingual resources and tools to help either create, grow, and launch a business or a business idea. Essentially, we like to say we put the wings on your business idea. A couple of the things we do is we do general business guidance, whether that's at the very foundation of your business with the business planning. We also help you fill out business forms that are important for the IRS, the Secretary of State, the City of Fort Collins, the county, and at a federal level. And we also dive into things like your basics in digital marketing, whether that's setting up a Google page, a Facebook, TikTok, simple things like that, getting you started, simple web page. One of the most important things we do is navigating within the city's processes. So if there's anything that comes into fruition with the city where you might need help from a different department, we can help navigate that and make those connections for you. And then in addition, we connect you to other existing business resources in the community that are free. And sometimes if they are not offered in Spanish or any other language, we could definitely help you with that by joining you and walking you through those other resources.
So where are we located? We are located on Monday at the Old Town Library, on Tuesday at the Fort Collins Chamber of Commerce, and Wednesday at the Colorado SBDC, and that is at Front Range Community College. We operate Monday through Wednesday, 9 a.m. to noon, and then 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. So what are LLCs? So what an LLC stands for is a limited liability company, and this is a type of business structure. And what it does is it separates your business from your personal assets. An example of a personal assets would be your car or your house or any investment accounts that you may have. So an LLC, you get some tax benefits by creating an LLC. And keep in mind, this is a business. There's a business tax benefit, so you can get some expenses from your taxes, and LLCs also help you establish credibility when you're a seller and you're selling to customers, or when you're collaborating with other businesses as well. And to create an LLC, you can use your ITIN or your social security number. When you use your social security number through the IRS, you're going to register your LLC in a day. And it does take longer when you use your ITIN to get your LLC. You have to mail it to the IRS. And that takes usually about 1 month. And again, we'll help and guide you through this process, making an appointment with us. So here are just some of the registration basics, just to keep it short. Again, we're not going to overwhelm you with information. And before you register your LLC, there's business planning that we can help you with. And just keep in mind, LLCs are not for every business, so you can chat with us more about it, whether it's the right fit for you. But here are some of the registration basics when you do register your LLC in the Colorado Secretary of State. You need a business name, you need an address, you need a registered agent, whether that's you, an individual signing up, or another person doing it for you. And then the price for now, up until to register your LLC, the price is $1 up until the end of summer around June and July, which it's gonna change from $1 to $50. And just keep in mind, you're gonna have to renew this and stay on top of it every year. And again, we're just gonna do the basic information. So this is our contact information before registering your LLC. Come talk to us just about your business or your business idea. We'll accompany you through each step of your entrepreneurial journey. And here is our contact information, and the website below is to schedule an appointment with us.
We'll also put this in the chat as well. And especially if there's issues with the appointment setting, you can just reach out to one of us and we can set the appointment out for you. But like we said, we wanted to keep it super brief and simple, so we can answer questions and help dive into that.
Excellent. So if anyone has a question, this is your opportunity to go ahead and ask it. If you do not want to turn on your camera, that's totally fine. You can just come off your mic and do the question out loud, or you can send it by means of the chat box. Also, if you want to ask an anonymous question, feel free to send it to me or to Edgar privately, and we can respond. Hi, I have a question. Hi.
A LLC with a social security number that is not valid for work in US. Can I still open a LLC business with that type of social security number?
That is a good question. So technically you should be able to, but if not, the system would let us know. When you utilize a social security number to register, it's called a EIN, which is the employer identification number through the IRS. This number is what's used for tax purposes from a federal standpoint for the business. And during that online process, you'll type in your information and then the social security number. And then if it does allow us, it'll let us to continue to receive the EIN. If not, then you can try it with using the physical form and mailing it in. But I wouldn't be able to give a 100% answer whether yes or no. Very possible.
Thank you. I will try.
Perfect.
Avita, do you have a question? Yes. My question is, how much is your consulting? It's completely free. This is a city resource. So it doesn't matter how many consultations or sessions you want, we are here to advise. What library are you at? The Old Town one or the Harmony one? We're in the Old Town one. And on Harmony, we're at Front Range Community College in the White Peak room. Any other questions? I have one, meanwhile, which is, okay, so email, that's fantastic. But what if the person isn't very good with technology and would prefer to make a phone call? Have you all created a Google number that people can use where they can call you? I see you've shared your email addresses, but our community likes to call folks. Yeah, of course. And we are also going to put our phone numbers, our work phone numbers, Thomas's and my own. At least on my behalf. I would prefer people to send me a text message first because I get a lot of phone calls. So a good way for me to organize all my messages and my time is to get a text ahead of time. Perfect. Thank you. Any other questions from the public? Once again, if it's a problem that I'm recording, please let me know. I can stop, and we can also make sure that your questions are anonymous. In the chat box, you'll see Thomas's and Edgar's information and their phone numbers. You can take it from there. And then there's also their email addresses. And if you don't know where to get started or what to ask, you can always come and visit us or send us a text message. You know, just make an appointment and then we can talk about whatever your business idea might be or your business if you still haven't started one, and figure out where to go from there. Thank you. I think Adela has a question. Hi, yes, I am here. There's some craziness behind it, my kids are playing, but my question is there a limit on how many businesses you can open with just one number? 1, 2, 3, 4? Legally, I don't know the answer, but I know that at least me, I've opened quite a few different businesses with the same number. The IRS, when you register the name, they ask you if you've already opened a business with that Social Security number previously. And they do look into how many times you've done it, but I don't know if there's a limit. Okay. So you can do it with your ITIN number, correct? Yes, definitely. Thank you very much. Of course. While you think of other questions, I have a couple. What about folks who just got here to this city and they want to start a business, but they still haven't been able to apply for an ITIN because they still haven't been able to present their taxes to get their ITIN, or they don't have a Social Security number because they don't have status. So what options do those folks have for starting a business? Truthfully, Betty, it's difficult. With this topic, what we would help someone with is the planning process. For folks who come to us who are in that place, you know, they have more time to plan their business because usually people come already with an idea. They know what they want to do. But the thing is, without good planning, it's really hard to have a successful business. And so what we would help this person to do is to plan all of the basic things. And if they need any advanced planning to think about the future of the business, maybe things they're not even thinking about yet with respect to the business management, what we'll do is we'll try to connect them with you all at Alianza, with other colleagues from the community, and anyone who can help them to get their ITIN. But yes, definitely, it's very important to get that ITIN. And it's a process that does take some time, but we're here to help. And if the person wants more information or needs connected to resources, we're here for that. Okay, and how young can somebody be to open a business? Yeah, you need to be 18 years old at least. or if you're planning a business for someone who's under 18. I think Milena has other questions. Yes. I wanted to know if you all have any sort of information or any, I forgot the word for it, like recommendation with regard to how someone can create credit, but not under their social security number, but rather under their EIN. How do I build credit? How do I build up credit under my business specifically, and not as an individual, not as a business owner? Yeah, really good question. So do you have a business currently, Milena? Yes, I do. So how long have you had it for? 12 years. 12 years, okay. So that's a good question. Definitely building credit with an EIN is not something as simple as building credit with an ITIN or social security number. The thing is that the majority of banks, even though the business has existed for 12 years and has made money, the majority of the time, what they'll require is personal liability, like a guarantee. But there are banks, such as one that we often recommend, like Colorado Enterprise Fund, that are more open. To accepting business credit from an EIN. And an EIN, the thing is, it will never have a credit score like a normal person would have. It's never going to, have a 700 that allows you to get a direct loan. They're always going to want a personal guarantee, or depending on what type of business it is, they might want you to put the equipment for the business towards the loan. There's a lot of other things that you can include. And for example, if you don't have credit with the business, it's unlikely that they'll give you a loan. And if you don't have any business equipment to put towards that, it's less likely. So they'll kind of want some sort of equivalency. Okay, thank you. That's helpful, thanks. Any other questions about how to open a business here in Colorado? While you all still think on it, I have another question for our presenters. So do you only help folks who are residents in Fort Collins, or residents in Larimer County, or does it not matter where in the state of Colorado the person lives? We help all people, but our focus is mostly the city of Fort Collins, because we know about the resources here. We know about the type of documents that are required to open a business here. But yes, we are open to helping folks, and we want to help. And the majority of people that we do help come from other places. Nonetheless, our focus is Fort Collins because we know the city very well. We know the processes, and we know the resources for folks who want to open a business here in Fort Collins. You mentioned that this service is completely free, correct? Completely, yes. And almost all of the resources that we recommend are also free or steeply discounted or steeply reduced. Okay, I think Milena has another question or her hand is stuck. No, I have another one. I'm going to take advantage of them being here. My question is, I received from the city of Fort Collins something to pay taxes for my businesses because obviously as a business that is located in Fort Collins, I should also pay taxes locally. So when I go to do my taxes with a person that helps me fill them out, I asked them if it was necessary to pay them separately. And I didn't like their response. So I wanted to know if you all have any information about if I need to pay those taxes, if there's a business office here in Fort Collins where I need to go and pay those directly, or how it all works. Or it's a little bit of a difficult question because you'd have to see the way that they did my taxes. But I was concerned because I don't want to all of a sudden be in debt and without knowing that I owe money. So I want to know if, or I want to verify at some sort of office how if I've done things correctly. I guess that's my question. Do you want me to answer? Yeah, of course, Milena. Thank you so much for this question. Can I ask you a question back? Of course. What's your business? It's multi-use. My business is declared, it's a cleaning company. I call it that. I have some other things, but okay. Okay, that helps a lot. So really good question. In the city of Fort Collins, the sales tax license is also the business tax license. And so this is confusing to a lot of folks. People who have a service business like yours, where you provide a service like cleaning, and for services, they do not charge sales taxes. However, you still have to have the license because it's the same as the business license for Fort Collins. So the question that you have is, you have to pay sales tax. No, you do not have to pay sales tax. However, you still need to file for a sales tax license every year. And because when you apply for it, it will require you to submit one annually as a service provider. But what you'll do is for the sales amount is you'll enter just 0 and you won't owe anything because you're a service-based organization in Fort Collins. Now, let's say that, for example, you sell things. That's when you would have to then report what you have sold for the sales tax license. I'm sorry to interrupt you. When you're saying a sale, you mean like a store that sells things, or yes, any product sale. Any product sale. And definitely we have a department that helps us a lot, and we can help you get connected to them. We can even go with you and help you if you would like help. And because also on top of the sales tax, there's a use tax. This is a little bit more difficult to understand, but imagine that you bought a machine to clean carpet. And so in that moment, the use tax, you'd have to pay for that machine because you're using it. for the business, and the city of Fort Collins never received sales tax on it. You know, there's a whole little booklet about how to pay taxes for Fort Collins, but that we could talk about. But what we can do is we can help you in greater detail if you want to schedule an appointment, and we can look more at your situation. I think that's a great idea. I'll do that. Thank you. I responded to Yaritza in the chat box. So on Monday, we're at the Old Town Library. On Tuesday, we are in Fort Collins Chamber of Commerce. And on Wednesday, we're at Grand Range Community College on Harmony and in Blanca Peak. Excellent. And if you do not know where those locations are, just send them a message before you go or when you're programming your appointment, and they can send you the exact address, of course. And it's also on our website. I was trying to think of another question I had, but I lost it. We talked about the price. We talked about if it has to be here, and that the service is totally free, and that it's not very difficult to open an LLC. You just need to have your ITIN or social security number, and that sometimes takes more time. Yes, exactly. I have another question, please. Of course. My question is, do you all have, I don't know if Alianza Norca would you have a contact or a resource for lawyers that can help folks who have had problems with employers? Like the situation would be somebody didn't want to pay one of my sons. They owed her some money for work. And so currently, this friend of mine is looking for a resource so that she can take legal action and get her money. Is there, or is there an office where they take on those types of situations? Thank you very much, Milena. At the city level, no. I think this would be more of a state problem with the labor department, but perhaps Alianza has resources for this type of problem. What I would say is that I'm so sorry about the situation of your friend. And, you know, this is exactly the type of protection that an LLC would provide to someone, especially if they're providing work as a contractor. And so this is one of the benefits that having an LLC provides. Okay, so I just wanted to add something. There is a nonprofit agency that works in Colorado that's called Toward the Justice. And they have lawyer services, pro bono lawyer services, or low-cost lawyer services to help folks who are being abused by their employer, like they're not getting paid or their salaries are getting taken from them. They can help. If you need that phone number, I'm happy to, you can contact me. I'm happy to provide it. And as Edgar said, also by means of the Department of Labor of the state of Colorado, they can also help you. There's an application that you can fill out to have an investigation done with the employer and help advocate so that the person receives their compensation. So with that agency, depending on the process, they can also help out. Okay. So there is outside help, just because someone doesn't have their own business or just because somebody is working for someone else, they have protections. The agency supports employers as well as employees, and it does not matter what their status is. Any other questions? It's 6:45 now, and you all know how to contact Thomas and Edgar if you have any questions later on. But yeah, we really wanted to make sure that you all got this information about opening a business. But if we have time, we'll also talk about licenses. But yeah, I have a question. So once I have an LLC, I can open a business and pay taxes, or can I open the business and then start the LLC? How does it work? It's an interesting question. It depends on the situation. For example, in this country, you can conduct a business without having a business structure like an LLC. The majority, that's how people do it that way. But if you do it this way, you need at least to have a social security number, because later your earnings are classified as a sole proprietorship by the government. And then later, when you decide to open the LLC, or if you do it from the very beginning, you still have to go through the steps of registering through the state, registering through the federal government, and then perhaps a license. And you'll have to decide on a legal structure. So we are not experts in federal taxes. We definitely recommend you talk with a bookkeeper or an accountant for that kind of stuff, but things can end up getting modified depending on the structure when it comes to filing your taxes. But yes, you can open the business. You do not have to have a business structure. You can think about it and then open an LLC and then start the business. There's a whole bunch of different ways to benefit from having an LLC. And no one situation is the same. Okay, thank you very much. And when someone is trying to open a business, it's not necessary to have all the business details lined up. They don't have to have a place like a storefront, right? They can do it from home. Yeah, they can run their business from home. Some details depend on stipulations. For example, there might be an agreement where the person lives that says that they cannot open a business there, but definitely you can use any address for the business address. What you cannot use is a PO box for the legal structure. You can use it to receive mail for your business, but you can't use it as your business location when you register. And even if it's your home address and it's not your business address, at least it's a physical address, and that will suffice. And then also, something that they need to know is that the address that you use as the business address is a public one, which means that if somebody were to look for your business, they can find that address And the majority of the time, you know, folks try to find new businesses and they send them mail there. And they ask for money to fill out paperwork or perform services that would otherwise be free. So these are things we often see. Sometimes folks hire a lawyer to act as their agent. Yes, and you can also block your private information if you're using your public address, and we're happy to help you set that up if you'd like. Okay, great. Okay, anyone else? Any other questions before I think of another one? I think I had another one, but I lost it. What was it? Okay, so we talked about the address, that it can be your home address. Oh, name, the name of the business. So, for example, when someone goes to you to create a business, they have to think about a name for it, right? Do you help them do a search in the system to make sure that that name isn't previously taken or doesn't previously belong to another business? Yes. Yes, definitely. When we go to register the business, we always make sure that that name is available first. And that just takes a couple of seconds. And if it isn't available, you can make some little changes. Excellent. Anything else that you all would like to share that we haven't asked about? Is there anything else that's come to mind, Edgar, Thomas? At the moment, no. But what we'll send via the chat box is a resource that we use often. If you're thinking about starting a business or something like that, this is a simple website in English and Spanish that is called Lean Business Plan. It's a really simple page where you're asked questions like the name of the business idea, why your business is different from the competition, what your management is going to be like, just basic things, just to help you think about how to plan the business out. So we'll send that out. You can take a picture of it on your phone or get on there on your computer and just get some general ideas about those basic questions that help us make sure that you're thinking through your business. Excellent. Okay, so to close, for example, since you are helping people open businesses and all of that, are there any funds from the city or there are any funds from organizations that help small businesses that people can access to start up their business, or I don't know, provide some sort of support if they don't have financial resources to do so? Or in the future, is it possible that the city will have a funding program for new business owners? Are there any grants that folks can apply for, regardless of where their business is? Yes. That's an excellent question. Actually, today, we opened our grant for the city of Fort Collins precisely for registered small businesses in Fort Collins. This is $1,500 per business per business. And I'll put that in the chat box. Basically, this is to qualify for these grants, you have to make an appointment with us, and that can be online or in person. We'll send you the link, and then from there, you can see what the requirements are. There's 7 questions. What are you going to use the funds for? How much money does your business generate? Has to be less than $250,000 per year to be able to participate in that grant application. So yeah, just today it opens and it closes in 1 month. So we will review all the applications, we'll select 10, and then we'll continue with the second round. Do all LLCs need to have insurance in order to operate, or can you operate without having insurance? Definitely you can operate without having insurance, but it's not recommended, especially because without insurance, you won't have protection from personal property. So if something were to happen and you don't have insurance, the court could, and any company doesn't have insurance, then the court could come after personal assets. So it's almost always recommended to have insurance, even if it's just general liability. And what we recommend is to have a coverage of at least $2 million, depending on your business type. Obviously, that depends on the price. Sometimes they charge annually, other times monthly, but we always recommend that you have some sort of insurance, especially because there are folks who try to find businesses that don't have insurance, and it's no good. And do you have a list of where people can get insurance, or can they go to any agency? Definitely, we recommend the insurance that from private companies, but if those companies don't sell business coverage, we can also provide other recommendations in person or virtually, depending on what type of business it is and what you need as far as coverage goes. Question, sorry. That money or that scholarship needs to be reported as an income when we file taxes, correct? Or is it a grant that has a disclaimer? Good question. You do have to report it as income. Yes. It does require to be reported. Excellent. That's a great, those are great news for the group. And so if you know anyone who has their business license, you can recommend to them that they check out that link and apply. Okay, I knew that wasn't going to be the last question. All right, well, thank you very, very much, Edgar, Thomas, for being here with us, for educating us about how to open a business, educating our community. Please don't hesitate in spreading the word with anyone you know who needs support, that there are resources out there and they can open a business and they can take advantage of the many resources we have in the community. So thank you very much for presenting tonight. And you can get their contact information directly from them, or if you forget, you can always reach out to me and I'm happy